we are coming on to talk about trends for decorating your classroom for 2023. A couple things. Every year, there seems to be like new trends that become really popular. Some last many years, and some are just like kind of pop up. And for teachers who are looking for a new style for their classroom or something fun, I've looked and kind of found my favorite ones that I love. And I think decorating my classroom is one of my favorite things to do. I love back to school season. I love new beginnings and I love the excitement. I also feel that my classroom is where I spend so much of my time during the school year, so many hours of the day, that it really needs to be something that I love and enjoy being in. And so making it homey and welcoming is really important to me. And my kids often comment and parents often comment how welcoming and homey my classroom is because I do try to make it not quite so sterile and classroomy. And however, having said that, if decorating your classroom is not your thing, that's okay. Do not feel pressured to spend time decorating your classroom or money on supplies. Do your own thing, and you can just stop watching right now if you do not care to do that. That is a great idea. Okay, so a couple things about when you're making your choice about what you're going to do in your classroom that you need to think about. One is to not make it too overstimulating. One of the things that teachers love to do is go all out on everything. And so if you pick a decor trend and you use it in all areas of your classroom, just make sure that the patterns aren't too bold or too busy. The colors aren't too much that's going to cause distraction. You want it to help your classroom, not increase commotion or chaos. I also think that whenever you are choosing, you need to keep the focus on content. For example, leaving space for content like things such as anchor charts, student work, word walls, or any other type of content related material, whether that be like math, ELA, science, social studies, whatever that is, or SEL. Make sure that there is a purpose for how you're decorating your classroom. Um, for function over form is important when thinking about how to decorate. You want to make sure that you're not just putting out stuff just for aesthetic reasons. Having things that are aesthetically pleasing is fine, but just remember what the purpose is of decorating a classroom and making sure that you remember that students are the focus and the learning that happens in your classroom is the focus. With that being said, I have a few trends that I've gone through and looked at that I think are my favorites for this year. And so I'll start with my first one that I usually do is just kind of a black and white, modern and simple template that I can add in different accents like accent colors or greenery or like different like florals. The black and white is kind of a neutral palette and is also can be aesthetically pleasing without being too overwhelming. Because then you can get into patterns, black and white stripes or polka dots with some accents. So that is the first one. My next one, I really love this trend, is just kind of the neutral color palette trend where everything's very calm and peaceful with like the tans and the soft pinks and the like sage green and soft yellows and things like that. That neutral palette, I think, is just so peaceful and inviting. This kind of goes into the boho trend, where I know that's like a large part of like the boho trend is like the soft colors. And I think that it's also very pleasing and can be done very well without being too overwhelming. And I think it's going to last for a few years. So I think you could get away with doing it once and it's sticking around. In that same vein, I also think that the like eucalyptus trend is very pretty, very aesthetically pleasing. This one has kind of evolved from the eucalyptus over the last couple of years into more of like a nature trend. And I think that I love that evolution where it's not just focused on the just that one green, like that one green sage green plant that could go out of style if it doesn't evolve. And I think that nature with the you can branch out really to anything. Wildflowers is a really great branch out from that. Mountains, um, just keeping it in that same peaceful vein. On the other side of the coin, this one has been around forever and it's a major teacher trend, but it lasts because it's so fun. And that one is just to go with like bright colors, almost neon, astro bright colors. And that's a really great, helpful thing is that astro brights have so many of these fun colors already ready to go for you. However, this one you have to use with caution because this one can become very overstimulating very quickly and can cause just, I don't know, a little bit of overload. So just keep all of those things in mind that it's for your students. And usually those costumes turn out to be really fun and beautiful. This trend has been around for a couple of years, but I think it's not going anywhere. The retro trend, kind of like the 70s, 60s, like the groovy style. I think it's evolved over the last couple of years to be something that has some staying power. And it's just really fun. And I think you can do a lot with it. And there's some really cute fonts that you can find for free that you can type whatever you want and make whatever labels or borders or bulletin boards or whatever you want. They kind of have that groovy font, that groovy look. So I think that one is a fun trend for 2023 that you could keep for a few years. This next one is when I was researching trends for 2023. I love it. The only thing about this one is it may be too niche and maybe something that wouldn't last for years, but I definitely think you can get away with it for a full school year at least. But it's the friendship bead and friendship bracelet trend is so big. I taught my club this past year was jewelry making club, and making those friendship bracelets is just like such a thing. And then I know with the Eras tour, it's even bigger, and that's a whole nother level of friendship bracelets. But it is really popular with girls and boys. I know from personal experience, my son was given one and wore it until it broke. And so they have fonts and different materials that you can buy that you can use for bulletin boards and classroom decor in like the friendship beads where there's like the letters are on the beads and then there's like the little beads between. So cute. I will try to link one that I saw that I love. And then the last one I saw that I love that was a new trend for this year is the marbled pastel. A couple of things. I think the palette is very pleasing to the eye and not too overwhelming. Marble is just a really beautiful, classy pattern that you can find in lots of digital papers. And clip artists have these have created marble. It's kind of, I think, a new trend. And matching it with pastels. And they've also created like marble patterns in pastels. Sorry, my nose is itchy. And I think that combination, it makes for a really beautiful and classy, while still being peaceful and aesthetically pleasing for a trend for a classroom. And so I did find some, and I'll link those too, that I just thought were really beautiful. So let's see. Those are all of the trends that I think will be very popular for 2023 and beyond. And so if you're looking for new classroom decor ideas, maybe find one of those and give it a try. See ya.